didn't have a USDA market report back then. They they had their own market report to go in the paper or on the radio,
Mhm.
and their classification of cattle was reds, roans, and plainer kinds.
What does that mean?
Well, it's kind of mixed up cattle is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, crossbreeding wasn't as accepted back then as it is now.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
that was a quality issue, really.
Mhm.
The reds, roans, and plainer kinds. You know, Jerseys and Guernseys were probably the predominant dairy breed back then,
Mhm.
and there was a lot of crossing with beef. A lot of the beef cows were crossed out of them stock.
All right.
We've been doing intensive grazing probably for 20, probably 20 years. We were
Mhm.
one of the first to do it. The soil conservation people helped us, kind of design the system, and they didn't even know about it either. They were just learning.
So what exactly is it?
Well, it's where you divide your farm up into smaller fields
Uh-huh.
so that you can move them from one field to the next. Not just put the whole herd on 40 acres, for
Right.
instance, so you can graze down. We've got some 5 acre fields and 10 acre fields.
Uh-huh.
We just got done soil sampling all over the place. We had over 100 samples.
Oh, wow. So how many head are you able to get on just like 5 or 10 acres?
Well, 10 acres, you probably wouldn't want to run over 3 cows
Uh-huh.
per an acre for 3 acres for a cow.
3 acres for a cow.
Yeah. Now you can do more if you feed them a little supplement,
Mhm.
but you'll need to, do a pretty good job of growing grass even for that level of stocking. But the intensive grazing helps you in that respect. You can
Mhm.
carry more cows per unit of land.
Okay. Do you also part of how why you would divide them up? Does that have anything to do? I know that I have learned recently about how you would want to put calves with calves and kind of group ages together so that way.
Well, if it was a cow calf operation, you know you would just run the cow and her calf until she was weaned,
Hmm.
till the calf was weaned.
Yeah.
And if you were doing steers or something, on that number of acres, you'd probably want to have the same size and not have different categories.
Hmm. Okay. So, how many years have you been farming?
Well, of course, I started when I was born, I guess.
Hmm.
But when we were in grade school, we had a small dairy
Hmm.
down there, milk the cows by hand for a number of years, and then we finally got a milking machine and a certain old surge milking machine
Uh-huh.
to milk them. but
And
but that was back in late 40s and early 50s,
hmm
and we probably about 52 we built a grade A dairy barn.
what does that mean?
Well, you can sell milk for fluid consumption.
Okay.
Prior to that, it was all the milk went to the cheese plants and
Okay.
cheese factories.
Okay. All right. So the milk that or you're not milking now, right?
No,
You
haven't
went
for
over to
several years now.
okay. When you were milking, did you just sell that just regionally or nationally, or how big did you go?
Well, a period of time, we had a store in West Plains and sold grade A raw milk for several years,
Mm-hmm.
and then we started pasteurizing it so we could sell it in the stores in town. But prior to that, it just a truck came around to the farm every other day usually and picked
Mhm.
up the milk. When you had the grade A, you had to have a cooler. The grade C milk you could get by without a refrigerated cooler.
Mhm.
You needed to put some cool water around the milk can in a tub of as cool of water as you could have.
Mhm.
But when you went to grade A, you had to have a refrigerated cooler. And the early grade A, you still use milk cans. They
Mhm.
they picked it up in cans, but it went into a cooler that had an ice bank. Or it was probably 4 by 6 full of cold water, and it had an ice bank around the thing. You After you milked, you put the can in the cooler, and then when the hauler came, why he'd take the milk out.
Mhm. And so you said that you switched from dairy to beef, and why was that again?
Well, Dean and I used to be partners in the dairy, and we
Mhm.
divided up,
Mhm.
and I took I took the beef herd mostly,
Mhm.
but we had a lot of hogs back then too, and
Mhm.
I expanded the hog operation. But Dean kept milking several years after that, and I may not have been in the dairy business with him when he got that pasteurizer
Mhm.
and could sell. We sold gallon jugs of milk. Is what we sold.
I think I can remember. Was it a red label?
Well, they may have had a red label on
It
them.
seemed like I can remember seeing Dean, but it's embarrassing to
Well, now
say I didn't make the connection to here.
there was another. There was some dairy somewhere in the United States that was Dean's Dairy.
Mhm.
Yeah, he didn't call it that.
Oh,
That might
okay.
have been what you saw.
I bet that
But you
was.
can see milk jugs all at yard sales and
Uh
stuff.
huh. All right. Well,